19 things you didn't know about fast food. It's so simple. You go there, you wait 5 minutes maybe, eat, and then you leave. That's the purpose of fast food. But if you look a little closer at this industry, you'll find there's a lot you probably didn't know. 19. The Classified KFC Recipe. Lots of restaurant chains claim to have a secret recipe for their signature dishes. Some of them actually do go really far with keeping them secret too. Take KFC. They claim that their seasoned chicken contains about 11 herbs and spices, and keeping that knowledge away from the public is no joke. See, KFC has 2 different plants where they manufacture the mixture. Each make half of the recipe so that not one single location has the complete recipe. They then get mixed by a computer to involve as little human beings as possible in the process. 18. How many cows in a burger? When you bite into a burger, you're probably not thinking about the number of animals in that single patty. In your mind, you probably just imagined it came from one cow. Not usually the case, especially in fast food burgers. About 4 years ago, McDonald's even admitted that one individual beef patty contains meat gathered from over 100 different cows. Many times, if any restaurant buys their ground meat from a wholesaler, the patty is going to come from the cumulative ground meat of different cows anyway, and there may be no way to figure out just how many. 17. Where the kids hang out. Every day, about 68 million people dine at a McDonald's. There's about 7 billion people in the world, so that's a lot for one company to handle on the daily. The Fiscal Times reports that the major fast food franchise sells over 75 hamburgers per second. In the same second, Mickey D's makes a lot of money, totaling out to about $75.18 million in revenue in one day. It's also really popular with the youth in America, with 90% of children in the United States visiting a McDonald's every month. 16. The ski-through. Only in Sweden would you come across a place you could ski through where everyone else in the world would normally drive through it. You're not seeing things. That's a ski-through McDonald's in the snow, appropriately dubbed the McSki. You'll find this relatively convenient public feature at the Lindvallen Ski Resort, about 450 kilometers away from the capital city of Stockholm. If you happen to get hungry mid-ski, then you know you can order a nice warm Big Mac. It's not a new thing either. The ski-through has been around since the mid-1990s when it opened. If you want to sit in the warmth of a building, the restaurant has a capacity of 140 people. 15. The profit of fast food. Back in 1970, the fast food industry raked in about $6 billion a year in revenue. As reported in 2015, the number grew to $200 billion a year, and that's just America alone. When it comes to all around the world, and when you put it all together, fast food makes about $570 billion in revenue, more money than what other countries' economies generate. It's also a trend as of late for fast food companies to better the quality of their food, since health food has become so much more popular in the past decade. 14. The story of Meat Mountain. If you frequent the restaurants of Arby's, then you know there's something called the Meat Mountain. That seems like a whole lot of cholesterol to readily provide one person, but hey, the people wanted this, literally. Arby's claims its biggest sandwich they've ever sold was all because of a little photo manipulation. A digitally altered ad released in 2014 featured a burger that had a bunch of different meats stuffed between buns. It was to show customers that Arby's had an extensive array of meat. People then started asking for that specific burger, thus giving birth to the sandwich known as Meat Mountain. 13. Yoga mat sandwiches. Once upon a time, Subway bread used to contain a chemical known as azodicarbonamide. Most of you might not know what that even suggests, so hear us out. It's the same chemical that can be found in yoga mats, and up until 2014, the bread used in Subway sandwiches all contained this stuff. After food blogger Food Babe started a petition that got 78,000 signatures to do away with such a recipe, Subway removed the chemical, signing the pledge. The azodicarbonamide serves as a dough conditioner as well as a flour bleaching agent, used in products like rubber shoes and yoga mats. 12. The power of scent. When you walk into a Cinnabon at the mall or pass a stand at some amusement park, you could probably smell that stuff a mile away. That strong fragrance of cinnamon rolls and icing isn't just because the bun makers are hard at work. Actually, what Cinnabon makers do is take the empty cookie sheet tray sprinkled with sugar and cinnamon mixture and then bake it so that the scent comes out stronger and lingers in the air, drawing you into the Cinnabon cash register like a sailor to a siren. They even use the weakest possible oven hood so that the smell can escape better. 11. The freshest coffee grounds. While we're sure someone out there in the world likes the taste of burnt coffee grounds, the majority of coffee fans probably don't. At Dunkin' Donuts, you'll apparently be guaranteed that you never taste any burnt coffee. On their website, they claim their coffee is always freshly ground and served right away. Any grounds that haven't been used in 18 minutes is automatically thrown out so that they can start a new carafe to be brewed. 10. The fast food depression link. We all know that feeling of eating food that's bad for you and then immediately regretting it afterward. But did you know that researchers have apparently found a link between eating fast food and an increased risk of depression? Quite depressing, especially for those who eat fast food for the price and convenience. What's more concerning is that even if you have a relatively healthy diet on the regular, any consumption of fast food can affect your emotions and mood. 9. Real eggs. Really? People like to talk negatively about fast food, and with good reason. There's a lot of cons to add to the list. So it might surprise you to know that mega chain McDonald's actually uses real eggs in their Egg McMuffins. You wouldn't know it from the perfect circle and strange kind of scrambled egg portion they have in it, but they apparently use real whole eggs that are fried in 100% real straight from the cow to the churner type of butter when they used to make it in margarine. The eggs get cooked in the restaurant, as opposed to getting frozen, and include no additives. 8. The mystery meat. You can't get away with calling something mystery meat anymore. From what you've heard about burgers, it seems it's all kind of a mystery meat anyways. Taco Bell even got sued for calling the meat they use meat. Why? It seems that most of the ground up brown stuff you see in their tacos, crunch wraps, and what have you are all mostly a blend of oats and seasonings with some meat in there. A class action lawsuit concluded in 2011 with Taco Bell releasing a statement about the percentage of real beef that goes into their meat. 7. Who's the biggest of them all? People talk about McDonald's a lot whenever you're trying to prove a point about fast food, and you always hear about how there's a McDonald's on every corner. However, they're not always number one. While they might seem like one of the most popular restaurants in the world, it seems we have to give the crown for the largest restaurant chain in the world to Subway. That's right, in terms of units or amount of restaurants, McDonald's has about 32,737, while Subway surpasses them with 33,749, and that's according to the Wall Street Journal report in 2011. 6. The fatty salad. One thing to learn about places like these, the seemingly healthier food options usually don't stack up to being healthier after all. At McDonald's, the kale salad has a higher calorie count than their double Big Mac burgers. Their fruit and maple oatmeal has a super high sugar count, reaching about 32 grams, which is more than a lot of candy bars. If you decide to skip the meat and order the broccoli, spinach, and tomato pan pizza at Sbarro, you're looking at about 1,280 calories, the suggested amount the average adult is supposed to consume in 3 meals in one day. 5. Colonel Sanders versus Colonel Sanders. Everybody in the world has heard of KFC, but how many of you have ever been to Claudia Sanders' dinner house? Not many, most likely. The Colonel started the famous Southern Fried Chicken franchise after spending a long time coming up with that perfect chicken batter and seasoning mixture they try to keep super secret. He sold KFC, which at that point had become a billion-dollar powerhouse. Then he saw how they changed the recipes for the chicken and the gravy. To retaliate, he opened up a restaurant to rival his old company. 4. Why people choose fast food. With all the stuff you hear about fast food, you'd think less and less people would want to keep eating it. However, there's a lot of benefits customers see to choosing fast food as opposed to something healthier. For one, 67% of the people that eat it do so because of the convenience, according to an Ask Your Target Market survey from 2014. About 32% said it was because of the inexpensiveness, with 31% of people saying it was because they just liked it. If you look at all the food requests of criminals sentenced to the chair or injection, you'll see that a lot of them are fast foods. 3. Not quite a foot long. If something gets advertised to you as being a foot long, as in 12 inches, you'd get mad if it didn't quite measure up, right? That's the sort of trouble Subway found themselves in back in 2016 when customers started realizing their sandwich lengths were coming up short. Subway got sued for the false advertising, with the opposition claiming that the sandwiches actually measured to 11 inches. Subway settled for $500,000, though they did respond by saying that a foot long is more like a descriptive term than an accurate phrase. 2. The biggest toy seller. The one who sells the most toys in the world isn't FAO Schwarz or even Toys R Us. The #1 toy distributor is actually McDonald's. Yep, all those Happy Meal toy packets add up in the long run. They must have realized the power of their spread because last year, McDonald's made it so that kids can get free books in their Happy Meals instead of toys, something they've been pushing for at least 3 years prior. Because of all those books with that food, they ended up selling more books than the books housed in the Library of Congress. 1. Forever Foods. You've all seen that segment in Super Size Me, where they take a look at the time frame of how fast it takes for fast food to go bad or rot. A McDonald's Big Mac can just chill on your kitchen counter for about 12 years without decaying. Likewise, their French fries have been known to take a long time to decompose. While that sounds frightening, it's also been found that if you make your own burgers a certain way, they have the same lasting power. And a big reason McDonald's French fries last so long is due to dehydration. Same with their other foods. Would you still eat fast food after hearing all this stuff? What are some of the other fast food tidbits we didn't mention? Say so in the comments below, and before you leave, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and click that subscribe button.